In my mind, you were my perfect suicide. 'Cause I know just how you play your games. But I pretend that this is not just all.
Hey, what's going on out there, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. This is the YFYI podcast, and I am your host, Sonny D, the host with the most interesting guests in the world, and I've got a doozy for you guys today. All of the people on the YouTube that are out there watching, you already see someone in the studio, the makeshift studio, that's with me today. But for those of you listening, you're just gonna have to wait to find out who's sitting across from me. But it's definitely gonna be a doozy. And this, you guys, you know this is the place where you come. This is the place where you come to get your mind right, to get your money right, to get your learn on, so you can get your earn on. If you need a checkup from the neck up, you are in the right place. If this is your first time listening to the YFY podcast, welcome to the club, welcome to the tribe, welcome to the hashtag YFYI Nation. If you're a repeat offender, if you're a repeat listener, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hopefully you brought a friend. Hopefully you're helping spread the word as we slowly inject the YFYI all over the place. We talk about a lot of different things on the podcast, career. We have interesting guests that come on. Right now I've been doing a series called Meet Team 1.0. This is a continuation of that series where I'm going to be sitting down with every member on our team so you can get to know them. The video, you'll get to hear the audio, you'll get to learn a little bit more about what makes them tick and where they're going, what kind of things that they're striving for. Also, you get updates. You get updates on what's happening in my world as I'm traveling around the world, talking to you guys. A lot of you guys, I see you out on the road. Some of you have been listening to the podcast for a while, and I haven't seen you. I'm on the way. I promise that. I am on the way. And just a big shout out to all the people that have been leaving reviews for the podcast. That helps it get discovered. That helps the podcast get noticed by people that are searching, trying to find a way to get through another day. So thank you guys for those reviews. If you have left a review and you haven't got limited edition YFYI swag, the iHeart YFYI t-shirt, that's only going out to those people that leave reviews, then let me know. Prove it. Send me a photo, send me a screenshot, tell me your handle, and you will get your t-shirt in the mail, maybe some other gifts on the way as well. So today, I'm super excited because we have a member of our team, a newer member to the 1.0 family, but definitely doesn't feel like a foreign relationship. Feels like we've known each other for quite a while, and I'm super excited for you guys to learn more about this person. And he's got a long history with Paul Mitchell. He's been able to do and see and is going to do a whole lot that you guys will hear about today. So, without further ado, welcome to the YFYI podcast, Mr. Joshua Valdez. How's it going?
Going good.
Going good. So, what I like to do, Josh, or do you want me to call you Joshua on the podcast?
Josh.
Okay, he's not getting too fancy for the podcast. So what I'd like to do is, we've got people that listen to the podcast that are future professionals, that have graduated, that are out there doing it, that are been doing it for years, 30 years. I mean, we've got people that are in places like Paducah, Kentucky, that we may never, you may think I'm making up that name, but it's a real place. we got people that are not even in the beauty industry that listen to this, and they come here for a couple of reasons. A big part of it is they want to be inspired, they want to be motivated, they want to get some education, and when they come here, they're just kind of searching. Some of them know where they're at, they just want to stay going in the right direction, or some of them may be lost and they're not sure where to go. And so I want to introduce them to you, and I want to take it back to the beginning. I want to start there. If you guys are watching on video, we're currently on location. And location, we're actually in Austin, Texas. This is your home turf, right? You grew up not right in Austin. You grew up in Austin?
No, like on the suburbs, so.
In the
Pflugerville.
suburbs.
It's like maybe 10 minutes outside of Austin.
And what's the name of it?
Pflugerville?
Pflugerville.
Yeah, PF. But it sounds like an F, so. it's
Okay,
Pflugerville.
Pflugerville.
Yeah.
Pflugerville. So but this is right on the outskirts of Austin. This is kind of your home turf. You've been quite the tour guide the times that I've been here. And so you grew up in Austin. So this is your home base. Pflugerville. Let's start there. Pflugerville is what kind of city? What kind of place are we talking about?
It used to be a small town. When I first grew up, we grew up on more acreage land, so we were kind of like country a little bit. We were country but urban still.
Okay.
I grew up on 10 acres out in Copeland, Texas, which is 10 minutes outside of Pflugerville, but my school district was still Pflugerville, so still went there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I always say I grew up in Pflugerville because Copeland's even smaller.
Okay.
so,
Okay.
but yeah, I grew up in Copeland most of my life with both parents, and then as the years went by, I grew up, brothers grew up, and we decided to move to a house more towards Pflugerville, but we still like rented out the land that we had. So started growing up and getting closer into town, and during middle school and high school, lived really close into town, right, maybe like a mile away from my schools that I was going to. So middle school and high school, like walking distance. So
cool.
Yeah.
Now you said brothers. How many brothers?
So I have 2 brothers, an older brother and a younger brother. So I'm the middle child.
Oh, nice. So you're the middle child. I always joke around about the middle child. I'm a middle child, and I always when we're out on the road and stuff, I talk about the middle child, and I'm like, so on the count of 3, everybody say what's cool about being a middle child, and I'm like 1, 2, 3, and it was like nothing.
No.
Because you think you're running shit, right? You think you're running shit until your older siblings like, yeah, nah, I got this.
Exactly.
Cool. So you're in the middle child, and where does that put you? How many years younger and older?
So I'm 3 years younger than my oldest brother, and then I'm roughly 2 years older than my little brother.
Okay. Cool. And so you guys grew up. So you say kind of country. Like, are we talking farm? Are we talking?
We had some farm animals for an extent until nature took its course and they were no longer there.
Whoa.
So,
what do you mean they were no longer there?
When we were out there, we'd have a lot of wild animals, a lot of coyotes. So sometimes cages aren't as secure as you think, and one dies, and then eventually we find out we're like, what else is gonna have anything out there?
Okay. Now, with farm animals, did you do any I grew up. I'm a city slicker, so I'm like just imagining farm animals like cow.
No, nothing that crazy. We had like some goats and chickens.
Okay.
That was like our thing. We had a couple goats, a couple chickens, and then back in the 10 acres, we had 2 ponds, so we had a lot of fish back there.
Oh, nice.
So good.
Fish could you eat them?
Yeah, once they got the size, they're more like really young, and
Okay.
so there wasn't really like you could just go back there and catch them all. It was a small pond, so
Okay.
yeah. We did have for some reason I walked out one day like on the porch. I don't know, had it been like 8, and we had this huge tortoise in the lawn, and it was probably the size of like a kiddie pool. And I was like, where did this turtle come from?
Yeah.
But I guess it was in the pond, and it just kept getting bigger. And it was there for like a day, and then it was gone.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. That's cool. So besides like the few farm animals, did you have like pets growing up? Dogs, cats?
We had a couple dogs, Birdie and Ted. Those were our 2 dogs. They were from the same litter, so they were brother and sister. They fought a lot, but they were with us pretty much up until we moved and my parents split. So, and then they ended up passing away eventually. Just over time.
Gotcha. And then, so how old were you? You said your parents split. How old were you then?
I was in middle school, so it had to have been right around 6th or 7th grade. So I was like 12, 13, somewhere in there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then, is that when you guys moved?
No, we all moved together
to
the house,
Gotcha.
and we were there for a while, and then I think when we moved, that's when maybe stuff started happening between parents, and so
Gotcha.
yeah, I don't remember. I mean, I remember my dad being there for a short amount of time at the new place, but I don't think it was long.
Gotcha. And then when you, so you're like in middle school now, what kind of, let's go elementary school,
Okay.
right? I was raised in hell in elementary. I was raised in hell. I almost got beat up by my second grade teacher. Miss Williams, she swung her purse at me. I ducked, and her purse like hit something, and it was like made a big thud. Come to find out, she would carry like her Scotch tape roll, that dispenser that was weighted with sand in it inside of there, and like those heavy staplers. So she was trying to kill me. So what kind of kid were you in elementary school?
In elementary school, I mean, I would say like a popular kid, I guess. I mean, I knew everyone. I was a part of like every clique, and then of course in elementary school you're separated by class, so you're friends with those people. But I actually went to 3 different elementary schools through my time, and I went to Murkison, which is the closest one to my house, and then for some weird reason one year my parents decided for us to commute from my grandparents' house, so we actually would drive from Pflugerville to the other side of Round Rock every morning, and we would walk to school for my grandparents. And that was just 1 year. So I went to that elementary school for a year, and then I went back to went back to Murkison, which was the one I started at for like 4th grade, and in 5th grade I was at another school. I went to Rolane, which is a brand new one that had got built the year before. So like zoning changed. So I ended up going, out of the 5 years there, I went to 4 schools.
Oh,
so
dang.
I met a lot of people that way, which was good.
Yeah.
But once I got back to middle school, it was cool because I knew a lot of people, because then both those elementary schools came together, and it's like I had never left.
Oh, nice. So popular, decent student, good grades.
Yeah, I mean, through elementary and middle school, I made pretty good grades, probably like high B's.
Oh, damn.
Low A's.
That's excellent grades.
Yeah.
I mean, in my book, that's like you're a straight A student. B's. I got a couple B's, I think, in my entire 12 years. But so what was your? So then you got to middle school, and then what was your thing? Some people navigate towards sports or this or that. What was your?
I really leaned towards sports because growing up, even through elementary school, I played a lot of football.
Okay.
A lot of baseball. So my dad was a big baseball advocate, and then as I grew up, I was just a big kid. So football was always open.
Okay.
Just because I was big. So in middle school, I played middle school football, but I also played in select leagues and then national leagues eventually. Just because a lot of the guys I played with were all good. We had a really good chemistry. So
nice.
Throughout all the middle school, I played football. We were undefeated. Never lost a game all 3 years.
Dang.
And then
what position?
I was pretty much all of offensive line and D line,
Okay.
so they'd move me around. I was very universal.
Okay.
So could move around.
Nice.
Yeah.
So all through middle school, you're footballing it up.
Yeah, football and then band. Like I started my band classes because
Okay.
it wouldn't conflict at all. So
Nice.
I started playing. I started out playing tuba. So
Oh, wow.
tuba was my first instrument. I played it for maybe 6 weeks.
Okay.
I was like, nah, this isn't cool enough. And so I decided to go play.
Tuba's not cool? Come on, man.
I couldn't do it. And then when I got to high school, I was like, man, I wish I played tuba. But
Oh, really?
no, I switched to trombone just because different outside of school stuff. So when I got to after middle school playing music, I got to high school. That's when I got to enjoy marching band and really getting into it.
Gotcha.
And so sophomore year, I decided to try out for drum corps, which
Okay.
is like the next level of marching band technically.
Like
so,
the movie, like they make the movies about it.
Yeah.
They go to those competitions.
Yeah, and I tried out for that, and then they carry these huge tubas, they're like huge bazookas, and I was like, man, that'd be cool. And they're so loud, and like ever since I saw my first DCI show, like you get chills, and that just being able to produce that out of just someone's mouth was just
Right.
incredible to me. So
Dang. So wait, so you switched to
trombone, yeah, I
And
played
then-
trombone through middle school, and then played it in high school, but my high school did march trombones the first 2 years, so I had to learn a whole new instrument
Dang.
freshman and sophomore year.
Okay. So what'd you learn freshman?
I've learned to play baritone or euphonium. So
Okay.
it was the same register, same sound, just instead of sliding, I was playing with my fingers. So
Okay.
we got buttons down.
So you got into band pretty heavy. I mean, your the rest of your family, what were they up to?
Everyone was very musical, starting with my older brother. And then
Okay.
I think my mom said she played saxophone in high school too for a little bit. So,
Okay.
my dad never music. I mean, he was like a pretty good singer, but he
Yeah.
was never like into music.
Got it.
But my older brother led the way. Started playing saxophone in middle school, and he led our way. And then me and my brother followed suit and pursued music too.
Nice. And so you guys, as you're listening and Josh is talking, I just want you guys to know he is a rock star. We're going to talk about that in a little bit and what he's up to these days. But I'm curious, as far as, and for you that are watching, you guys might be able to see Josh. Josh, so football, you're a big guy. How tall are you?
Right around 6'2", maybe a little over 6'2".
6'2", 6-ish, and how much do you weigh?
Right now I weigh 255.
So 255, 6'2", big guy. Now, that's only the story as of right now.
Yeah,
So
right
for
now.
those of you guys that can see Josh, if you don't know, it's pretty interesting. I want to talk about, so your football career, you're bigger.
Right.
And you've gone through a journey in the past, how long has it been? A little over
right
a year?
around 16 months. Yeah.
Okay. So a little over a year in the weight loss journey. How did that start? So when you're playing football, your size is your tool.
Right.
When does your size stop being your tool to where you're like, I don't want to be this size anymore? How did that start?
Really, when I finished high school and went to college.
Okay.
Because I didn't play football through high school. A lot of things changed when we got to high school, where our coaches weren't used to us, like our certain group, and we all had this good clique going, and we knew each other very well. And they started moving us all around, and it just, for me, that was my okay, they don't know what they're doing, and so I quit, focused solely on music. So
Okay.
after high school, just focusing on music, I didn't have any kind of workout routine, no diet plan, nothing, just enough shape to be able to do marching band.
Okay.
And, I got to college and pack on multiple freshman 15s.
Got
It's different.
Got it.
So.
Okay. And so now you're in college. Where did you go to college?
So I went to Texas State University for 2 years. I didn't make it into my program that I was going for, which was graphic design.
Okay.
And so that's when I decided to switch. But during that time, like you were saying, I was a musician still outside of playing bass.
Yeah.
And during that time is when I really decided, okay, it's time to change the weight stuff, because we're submitting music to different record labels and submitting music to different people and getting the feedback saying that I don't fit the image and that I'm too big to be doing what I'm doing.
Okay.
It wouldn't have sold, or it wouldn't have been the right imagery that they wanted us to be.
So let's rewind for a second as we unpack this. So now, when did you start picking up the bass and get away from like the horns and?
So in high school, probably right around sophomore year, me and a couple friends, we played like a talent show, and I was like,
Okay.
I can play bass, just because I had one at the house, and
Okay.
my older brother and me would dabble a little bit. And,
Okay.
I was like, I can play it, and so we did this talent show, and the guitarist, one of my best friends, decided like, hey man, let's make this a thing. And I thought about it because I was working. I made enough money at that point to be able to fund more equipment. So
Okay.
I was like, let's try it out, see what happens, find some more people, get moving. And we were both, I don't call myself a metalhead because if I talk to a metalhead, I look stupid because they
Okay.
know the big metal bands in more detail. I'm like,
Right.
I'm just a musician. I like what I like. So.
Okay. Gotcha.
We started playing more like metalcore, kind of mix of screaming and singing, and
Okay.
it was a really high energy, so I really liked it, and I really got into it. And
Gotcha.
by senior year, and right into freshman year in college, we were making moves. We were doing good, putting out music videos, putting out a lot of music, and
Got it.
just going with the flow.
And so you said you were making a little bit more money. So then So what were you doing? What was your job? What were you up to?
So in high school and yeah, pretty much most of high school, I actually worked at the Paul Mitchell School. That was here in Austin.
Okay.
So my mom, owner of the Paul Mitchell School here in Austin, opened,
Shout out PMTS Austin.
Yeah, opened 16 years this year.
Nice.
Sweet 16.
That's awesome.
I worked there as I started off as a janitor.
Nice.
So I was at the bottom of the bottom, cleaning up the bottom. So,
scraping the bottom.
Exactly. And so, I started there, and it was great because go in after school, it helps my parents out, it helps, the school out. And so, I'd go in and clean, and, I made a steady wage from that.
Nice.
So it was good, and it was helping me, fund what I wanted to do.
Nice. So you start working, so you're working all through high school, you're working there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go off to Texas State.
Yeah.
Cool. And so when the graphics doesn't come through, what do you end up getting involved in?
So after, I went to college and, I didn't make it into my program. I was a big hit because it's like, man, I spent 2 years here, 2 years of money here.
Right.
And I always had a backup to go do hair just because it was never my primary. It was like, oh, I'll go do it because that's what my family does. And then, so I decided, 2 weeks after I moved out of, or maybe a week after I moved out of my, moved off campus again and more into Austin, I was enrolled in cosmetology school.
Oh, nice.
So I was already, going. And during that time, I owned my own company with my dad, and then I also, was working at the school. So I was doing school full time, my company a little bit, and then working there full time too.
Wow. And then you guys, what company did you guys have?
So me and my dad, when I first started college, we started a bartending catering company. So we would do corporate events, weddings, and we would work, each event and make money that way by providing any drink services,
Nice.
anything to any weddings. And we probably did, a good amount of weddings while I was in college because that's what helped me, through college was working that and then working at the school too.
Nice. Very cool. And so you guys have that business going on. You're there for a couple of years. You guys are still making music. When did you guys start putting out stuff and then you started getting feedback?
So it was probably right around the end of my freshman year in college.
Okay.
We had just released an EP. We had just, shot 2 music videos. We had a member change. We changed vocalists, and things were going really good. And we sent all those videos out, and things were starting to move. And then that's when we started getting a lot of feedback from different labels and different people in the industry that we trusted and that we still trust because they know what they're talking about. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it forever.
So they're critiquing the music, but they're also critiquing the look of everybody in the band.
Right, yeah.
Now, and you guys are funding. You're doing a lot of funding of this.
Yeah, we were all pretty equal. A lot of the members, we all had jobs, so we were equally funding everything, and someone might go an extra on this, or someone might cover this and get paid back. But overall, it was all pretty equal.
How much would you say, like, just to get to this point, because there's people out there that are, in our industry that are thinking music to get a couple videos, an EP, what is EP? What does that mean?
See, what's sad? I'm a musician. I don't even know. I just know it's not a full album because it's no more than it was only 4 songs.
So kind of like maybe a sample. They might people. So it's 3 or 4 songs.
Yeah.
Okay. So how much would you say it costs to even get to that point where you're starting to push out some material?
So just the EP alone, I think we were paying right around $3,000 to $3,500 just for the music. It might have been more than that. And then for the music videos, we're looking at another $1,500 for one, almost $2,500 for the other.
Wow.
And then that's just to get the material. On top of that, doing photo shoots that cost us $300-400, and then the marketing of it was the big portion. Pushing, using thousands of dollars to push it out. And a lot of it, came from one of our guitarists. He was helping out in that. I would help out with more material stuff like ordering merch and getting hard copies of CDs, which is another couple $1,000s in that.
Damn.
So, almost
So I'm-
$15,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm calculated. We're already over 10,000.
Yeah.
You know. Wow.
So it was a lot, and I mean, I purchased a trailer, purchased a van, all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that so we could be ready for, you know, what we were gonna do, and we all had our heart in it, and we all were ready to put that money out. So.
Right. And so this is going on, and then you start getting some feedback. Would you say so? In high school, you know, you stopped playing football, so now you're a big guy, musician. Now college, you've gotten bigger, musician. You start getting the negative feedback. When you get the feedback and to the point where you're like, I'm sick of this shit, I'm gonna make some changes, how long would you say it was until?
Probably right before I started cosmetology school.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's when everything really hit. I say hit the fan. Shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
Because you know,
in there?
members changed, and then
Okay.
the whole band dismembered, and then we formed a different band, and so all that was going in, and the new project made another, you know, single and another video, and that's the one we sent off that got the most critique out of it.
Okay.
And from there, I mean, I knew, you know, I have to lose weight if I want to be a musician, first of all, and
Got
so I started my journey, and
when you started, what? So how much did you weigh at the beginning of your journey?
so I had in early December of 2016, I had weighed myself, and I was at 440 pounds.
Wow. So you guys that aren't watching the video, you know, you might have heard 255, right now, 2018, August 1st. So this is 16 December, 400 and what?
40.
Wow. Yeah, you're a big dude.
Yeah, I was big.
You're two of you.
Pretty much, yeah.
And so what'd you say? Like what I want to know, like, first, right, everything we know starts in the mind, right? So the mind sometimes might see something or hear something, and then it might take a while for the body to catch up. What was going through your head? Like, do you remember if there was like a day, or there was like a week or a month, or like what period when you were just like, you know what, that's it?
So after a lot of the stuff, you know, changed, and you know that stuff happened, I knew I would have to do that. And I told the guys that I was working with at the time, like, hey, let's take 2 months. I'm gonna see as much weight as I can lose in this 2 months, and I just pushed myself as hard as I could to make sure I can start dropping it, start bettering myself, and everyone can see that I'm making an effort. You know, I'm not just sitting at that. And it was a lot. I mean, there's a lot of tax on the mind, really, because you know, when you're that big and people say those things and you feel that way, you feel like shit all the time.
Right.
You know, it's like, man, I got to change this if I want to ever be, you know, better.
Right.
Or, you know, a better me.
Right.
And so, you know, that's when it clicked. Like, I gotta do something. I gotta change what I'm doing, because what I'm doing right now is gonna lead me down, you know, an unhealthy life, or, you know, dying or
Worse.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. And so, and when I started, I mean, all of this was with minimal help.
Right.
All the weight loss was with minimal help.
That 2 months.
That
I wanna
first
know
2
about that
months,
first 2 months, yeah.
that was just me.
What were you doing?
I was angry at everyone, at the world. I was
Okay.
angry. I was mad at myself. I was short-tempered. I didn't, you know, care at that point. And I was like, the way I first started was terrible. I mean, I didn't eat. I just worked out twice a day, once in the morning and once after school.
Okay.
And I mean, I had a good game face. Like, no one could tell I was mad or depressed or anything like that. But on the inside, you know, I was. And so I was pushing myself as hard as I could, to the point where, you know, it was probably bad for my body at one point. And, you know, I got down maybe 50 pounds, not in the 2 months, but in like the first 4 months, I got down about 50 pounds.
Okay.
And, you know, I was like, okay, I know I can do this. And that's after me, like, killing myself, straining myself. And so after that first 50, I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And so I stopped for like maybe like a month. And I gained like maybe 10 pounds back. And after that, once I started gaining back, I was like, oh, no, I can't do this anymore. And so that's when I started stepping into figuring out what I should do to get my diet where it needs to be.
Right. Now, hold on, before we move forward. So you're over 400, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, all right, you know, screw this shit. I'm losing the weight. I'm going hardcore. 2 months. Now I'm not eating. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're at 400 or something, you can throw down some food.
Oh, for sure.
How do you how do you even stop? Like, how do you even have the control of like not like? Are you talking like eating what in a typical day during that 2 months? Like, what would you eat and what like how do
So,
you even control that?
The way I say I stopped eating is like I stopped eating carbs, like
Okay.
bread, any pasta.
Okay.
I cut out all carbs first, and then I switched to no beef, so just chicken and fish.
Okay.
And I would cook at home.
Okay. Got it.
And then, I would only eat maybe twice a day
Okay.
instead of, the recommended amount,
Right.
3 to 4.
Right.
So
You're
that's what I
going to
meant by
school.
eating. And I'm going to school. And so the
Working
big thing is I kept myself busy enough not to be hungry all the time. So
Got it.
I would wake up 6 a.m., go to the gym, go back home, shower, get to school by 8:30, 9 o'clock, get into class. I'm in class from 9 to 8 p.m., 9 p.m. some nights just in case I have like extra guests.
Okay.
And then I'd go work out again right after school. So by the time I got home, it was already 11 o'clock, time for bed, and I didn't have time to think about eating. I was so tired. So.
Got it. So after that couple of months, 50 pounds, you're like, this is hell.
Yeah.
I'm screw this.
Yeah.
You put on some more weight, and then what did you start learning? Like, what kind of?
I knew there was going to be a better way to do it and keep it off and not kill myself in the process of
Right.
like doing it. And so, as I lost that 50 pounds, it was a boost. I mean, it was like, man, cool, 50 pounds. Like,
Right.
that's a milestone. I got the idea, I was looking around, I was like, I need some help with how much I eat, like the control I eat. I was talking to a couple of people and they, we're talking about a pill that you can get from a physician or a doctor, that's called phetermine, which helps suppress appetite. And I was like, okay, that's cool. I mean,
Right.
not gonna kill me, it's gonna help me, not be as hungry during the day.
Right.
And so I started taking phetermine after I went to a weight loss clinic and talked to them and started on phetermine and did that. And I was probably on phetermine for about 4-5 months. And people would always they were like, oh, you're on phetermine? I'm like, yeah, I'm just taking it just, to get to a certain point, and then I'm gonna stop because I don't want any help, like any more help. I just needed to kickstart again.
Right.
And, people were like, oh, you can cause cancer, holes in the heart, all this stuff.
Oh, really?
And inside, it was freaking me out, but I was still dead stuck in that kind of like, I gotta get this done.
Right.
And so I, blocked out what people were saying and just kept going on it, doing my same workout routine. I wasn't hungry now all the time, so I was eating smaller portions, but I started eating more times a day.
Okay.
At that point, so I started getting smarter on how I ate.
Got it.
Still no carbs, and just keep pushing through it, and just like that. And then
4 or 5 months of that.
Yeah.
And then where were you at?
so I got to probably right around almost, I want to say like 320-ish.
Okay.
So I was getting down, maybe less than that, maybe like, or more than that, maybe like 330, 335, somewhere in
Okay.
there. And then that's when I moved. I moved back home from where I was living because I was in South Austin.
Okay.
Because I was where I was when I was going to college. My
Got
lease
it.
was up, so I moved back home and started living at home. Still doing the right thing, still working out, still doing it, and then I started plateauing at like 315.
Damn.
I sat at 315 and just plateaued. Didn't know what was going on. I had stopped taking phetermine. I stopped taking phetermine, but I was still doing my diet, still doing my normal workout, and I was like, well, something's not working anymore.
Right.
What could it be at this point? And so I was sat in that for like maybe a couple months or so, and I was looking through Facebook, and one day this little ad pops out. It's like, oh, free 6-week challenge, lose weight,
Okay.
lose 20 pounds in 6 weeks. I was like,
Okay.
that's crazy. 6 weeks, 20 pounds in 6 weeks, like that's a lot. So I saw it, paid no mind to it the first time I saw it. So I
Right.
kept going, kept working on it, got to about maybe 310 or 5 pounds down. And I was like, man, I still can't budge it,
Right.
barely moving anything. And so I was like, okay, you know what, screw it. This thing's been on my feed for like weeks. I should just call them. And so I called this place, called the Camp Round Rock or the Camp Transformation Center is the brand.
Cool.
The one here is Round Rock.
Okay.
So it was like maybe 10 minutes from the house. You know, they were like, oh, you know, message us for information. I sent a text and boom, like 3 seconds later, I got a message from Jazz, which is the owner.
Oh, wow.
And she's like texting me. I was about to go out of town. I was actually headed to go see you in Florida with the salon. So she had texted me and I was like, well, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And then she offered, or I got back from Tampa and she was like, oh, we have orientation this week, come see it, blah, 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 come check this out. So I went in, like, thinking like, oh, cool, it's gonna be free. I'm gonna be able to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I got nothing to worry about. I just got my tax return, so I was like, oh, cool. I got like, I'm sitting on some money I can put in savings.
Right.
And then I get in there, and she's talking it up, and I was like, man, it's gonna be awesome. Like, how can this be free?
Right.
And then she's like, boom, you know, the way it works is you can get your money back, but you're gonna put down this amount of money.
Okay.
And it's your incentive program to work your butt off to get your money back, in a sense.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
me, the business, or like the money me was like, oh man, I really don't want to spend this money that I get to save.
Right.
But the me that trusted in what Jazz was saying and what she preached, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it because, you know, I can't make excuses, you know, saying I don't have money to pay for it when I clearly have money to pay for it.
Right.
So, you know, I bit the bullet and, you know, I'm glad I did because they helped me through a lot, all the trainers there. So started off there, I, you know, did my first 6-week challenge. They gave me a meal plan. You know, I was eating every 2.5 hours, alternating, you know, a set meal with a shake, set meal shake, and just going throughout my day. And my days were long, so I was like eating 8 times a day. By the end of the day, I was like, God, I'm so full. Like, I've been eating all day long. And so, you know, I get my meal plans going, my meal prep down. I start doing my workouts going at 6 a.m. still. Clearly, I'm a morning person.
Yeah.
You know, going in at 6 a.m., working my butt off with the trainers. And, you know, the first 6 weeks, it flew by. You know, after that first week, you know, you're super sore. You don't want to move.
Right.
And then after that, you know, your body gets used to it. And then that 6 weeks went by super quick. You know, like quicker than I ever thought it would.
Right.
And
what did you see in like that first 6 weeks? Like what kind of changes did you see in your body?
so that first 6 weeks, I felt way better. I was feeling like more energetic, like just happier as a person, just overall like just brighter, like uplifted. And then I got on that scale at 6 weeks later, and you know I was only supposed to lose 20 pounds that first challenge.
Right.
Well, I had lost, I think it was like 35, 36 in that first 6 weeks.
Damn.
Like I just destroyed that 20 goal.
Nice.
And I was pumped. I was like, man, that's crazy. Like I never thought I would have pushed it that hard.
Right.
Which was a good thing and a bad thing. Because then the second round comes around.
Right.
You know, I'm pushing my way through it, still following my meal plan, starting to like still follow the meal plan, but like have a cheat meal every now and then because you know I got busy with something or didn't eat and missed a meal. And then that's when, you know, other stuff started coming up with the salons, and then my whole schedule was just like all kinds of wonky, and then I got off my meal prep, and then, you know, at the end of the second 6 weeks, the second challenge, I got to, you know, experience what they call telopagus, which is like an emergency plan where
Telopagus.
yeah, so all, you know, you eat, you know, your recommended amount of protein, but it's only tilapia, and then your veggies, which is only asparagus, for every meal from breakfast until you sleep.
Damn.
It's just tilapia and asparagus. And man, I did that for a week. I think I had gone to California for a business trip, and I was there, and it was so embarrassing. Like no one saw me eat it, but I had to get a fridge in my hotel room so I could put my tilapia and asparagus in there. And then I had to ask for a microwave so I could heat it up.
Dang.
And then like when I was in the meetings, every 2.5 hours I'd sneak out the door, go heat up some tilapia and asparagus, eat it, and then come back down. And so it was like, it sucked. I was like, man, why did I ever, like, I did this to myself. Like, I can't blame anyone. I'm the reason why I'm eating this tilapia and asparagus. So
was that part of their program, or is that?
So it's part of their program if you don't reach a certain amount by the time, you know, you're getting there. So,
Gotcha.
I had done it completely to myself. It's
Yeah.
it's an emergency thing to push you further so you can hit your goal, so you can keep going.
Damn.
And so I did my Galapagos. I weighed in. I beat it. I was like 26 or 25 pounds down in that amount of time. I was like, cool, man, I got it.
Yeah.
I was like, whew, no more Galapagos ever.
If you didn't make it, would they do another 6 weeks of that, or?
No. So if I didn't make it, that's it.
Oh wow.
I've basically, disqualified myself, from getting that back.
Damn.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so here I am, 50-something pounds down there, so I'm getting to like I was in the 200. Once I broke the 200s,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm almost done. Like,
Yeah.
it was crazy. And then,
So before you go on, let me ask you. So when you started, right? Did you have a number in mind that you wanted to get to?
so I set a milestone, and then I set a goal I never thought I would reach.
What was the milestone?
So my milestone was to just get under, for the first one was to get under 350 pounds.
Okay.
So to get under 350, try to get back to the 320s.
Okay.
That was my first milestone. After I hit that, or even when I was there, I was like, you know what, one day I want to be under 250. That was the goal, to be under 250.
And that was when you were like, yeah, I'm never.
Yeah, I was like, man, I'll never hit that. But I'm gonna put that up. I'm gonna put it on my little board in my room, and I'm gonna leave it there, and just put it in Sharpie on my expo board so I can't erase it.
Nice.
So 250 was always there, and then end of the third challenge. I'm in 3 challenges now, and I'm still killing it, still doing my thing. It's getting harder because I'm losing more weight, so it's getting harder. Eating got harder because I was like, I've been eating the same chicken and green beans and quinoa for the last how many months.
Right.
So it's getting harder to keep going and going and going. But
Right.
what was cool is I had people, in a sense, pushing me that they didn't know they were.
How so?
So, I had a lot of people, they noticed the weight loss for sure.
Okay.
That always felt good. Like, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I let them know a little bit about what I was doing and what it really took, and that it wasn't easy. And then I had a friend reach out to me that I've known through other friends, but he had messaged me and he was saying like, thank you, man, your journey has been so inspiring to me, and this is awesome. One day I wish I could do this 6-week challenge and get in there and do it. And I told him, why don't you do it?
Right.
Why don't you check it out? And it was a money thing, and I understood it because I knew that it wasn't free. It could be free eventually if you finished it. But it was that drive that you needed. But he had told me, I was like, yeah, you inspired me to really do it.
Cool.
And then maybe a week before the challenge was up, he messaged me again. Of course I let him know, like, I never set off to inspire anyone. I never set off to document every single day of my weight loss journey.
Right.
I just set off to help myself.
Right.
And then with this camp, they showed me how they market, their each individual person.
Okay.
And like people were watching my journey and watching, these pictures of me changing and changing and changing and changing, and he's seeing all this on my social media.
Wow.
And he texted me a week before my challenge is up, and he's like, hey man, I want to let you know I joined the next challenge.
Nice.
So he like nutted up and he put the money down, and he's going through it right now.
Cool.
And then I was like, man, that's cool to me because I've inspired at least one person to go through their weight loss journey just from seeing what I was doing and how I was pushing myself.
Yeah.
And it was cool, like that for sure. And then of course during my weight loss journey through the whole thing, my little brother was doing a little of his too because he saw me doing mine.
Okay.
And so so inspiring people as I kept going, and me not even knowing about it, and that was a cool thing. And that's why my quote on my Instagram, I gotta pull it up. So the quote on my Instagram is from John Paul.
Nice.
And one of my biggest mentors, someone who probably knows me more than me because he's known my family and forever,
Right.
And like it's cool because he always like whenever he sees me, he always says by my first name and he calls me Josh, and I'm thrown off every time. Like, man, this guy remembers me from like when I was a baby. And same thing with Gary. Gary is the same way. Gary Spellman's like, man, I've known you since you were this big. Every time I see him, and it's the funniest thing, and I love that because I'm like, that's it's so cool. These guys have seen me from nothing to
Right.
where
Right.
I'm going. But the quote I have in here from JP is, "Success is how well you do what you do when no one else is looking."
Nice.
So
Nice.
even if there was people looking, I didn't feel it. I didn't see
Right.
people watching me or seeing my change, but I knew I personally was killing it. I was like, man, I'm getting this, I'm beating it up, I'm doing good. And then as people started talking to me and telling me like, oh my God, like what are you doing? What are you doing to this? What are you doing to
Right.
that? And helping out little things, giving them little hints and little tricks. And it was cool to see people start hopping on the bandwagon of
Yeah.
trying to get healthier and
Yeah.
just like looking up to me in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's inspiring. I mean, I know, like, when I met you, and then it was months had went by, and I saw you again, and I could see physical transformation, and a few more months went by, and I saw you again. I'm like, where's he going? So it's inspiring. I mean, to know, like, because, like, you started, and then you stopped.
Right.
How many people do that on so many things?
Right.
So to not only to start, and you probably have seen people even along the way that when you started, that maybe started, that slowly disappeared, like
Yeah.
that were like they didn't stick with it, and you were doing it. I mean, the reason that you started, it's like one thing, but then it probably, what does it become now?
So the reason I started was all focused on me. That's it.
Right.
To make sure, I can have a career in music. I can have a career in this, and that I can be more attractive as a person.
Sure.
That was the initial, I'm going to do this, so I'm more attractive, basically. And it turned in over the last, probably when 2018 started, it turned into me like making it about myself still, but making it more of a healthy version of it, making it more, well, this is going to help me find myself. This is going to help me be a better person, be a better leader to anyone.
Right.
I'm going to learn along the way a lot of things, but
Cool.
then the last 3 months has been, okay, I'm going to change it into, I'm going to help inspire. I want to
Nice.
help people go through what I had to go through, because it wasn't easy, and
Right.
it wasn't, I didn't always have support in a sense, because I was so far from everyone when I was
Right.
in South Austin that, no one could just drive over to South Austin without taking over an hour from where I lived originally.
Right.
So, it turned into, I'm going to inspire people, and because I know the struggle that came with it, it wasn't easy.
Right.
And having someone who went through it, kind of coach you through, just like, a cut.
Right.
It helps you and motivates you more. And so anyone that I can inspire, anyone that wants to ask me, like, what did you do? Who did you talk to? Or what programs did you do? Or what kind of meal plan were you doing? I mean, I'll tell you straight up what I was doing. I'm not going to like try to pitch
Right.
you go work out at the camp.
Right.
I'm going to give you a suggestion that I use that I know works. And
Nice.
I hope you take it, but I'm not going to be like, all right, and give me your $500, I'll go make it for you right now.
Right. So it's kind of does, it transforms, and it becomes like, especially when you get feedback, whether it's direct or indirect, how do you feel now?
It's 100% different.
And your so what's your target right now?
So my new goal is to get to the 230s.
Nice.
I don't know, I think body fat wise it would be probably like the 20s
Nice.
or less, 20% or less.
Wow.
And then, being so big and losing so much weight, you got a lot of extra skin now.
Right.
So, and I've learned to live with that and kind of make it a story. Like,
Right.
I'm not gonna, one day, when I had money, Buku's money,
Sell it on Craigslist.
sell it, yeah.
Anybody trying to buy some skin? We got some skin right here.
No, one day I'll want to get rid of it eventually, but
Yeah.
right now it's a story.
Right.
And it's a good one at that.
Oh, man.
It shows so many ups and downs, and I might not be saying all the details in this.
Right.
But there are. There's highs, there's lows, there's really highs, and then there's super low lows, and
Yeah.
there's such a roller coaster that came with losing
I
losing all
bet.
the weight. It was just.
I bet. We're talking from that decision, 2016. It's now coming up on the end of this year. It'll be 2 years. I know. We're gonna definitely have to have you on the podcast and talk more about some of those. But what are some that stand out to you? Like one of the lows that you know, where somebody, because there might be people out here right now, I mean, that are either watching or listening, and they're in one of those lows, and something that, you know, that you experienced that you could share.
The biggest thing, you know, is when you're doing it and you're not seeing results. You know, it's not to beat yourself up about it.
Right.
You know,
why
we can't dwell on, you know, so much of the bad that's going on, you know, in that situation. You know, and you know, I was like that from the get-go when I was plateauing. You know, I was like, man, I'm doing something, and I'm just like, nothing's helping. I'm tweaking things, trying this, trying that. Nothing's going on. You know, I encourage you to reach out for that help, because there's people out there. Yeah, it took me some money, but there's people out there who are going to help you.
Right.
You know, meet your goals, but give you incentive and push you to meet them too. And like the camp, for sure, their motto is follow the damn instructions.
I love that.
FTDI, follow the damn instructions.
I love
and
that.
it speaks true. I mean, you can see that first challenge, I followed the damn instructions. I blew that out of the water. Second challenge, I stopped following the damn instructions, and I had to do that tilapia, and was screwing myself over.
Right.
Third one, you know, I'm getting towards the end, and I'm still not following the damn instructions.
Right.
And I get to that last weigh-in, and I miss it by a pound.
Yeah, man.
A whole pound.
When you told me that, I felt guilty almost. You know, we had that, like the first time, you know, for you guys that have been kind of listening to the podcast a little bit, I talked about, you know, that week I was here, I think on one of the episodes, and I talked about hitting like every burger joint in Austin, and we tore shit up around here. And I knew you had that challenge going on, but I mean, you missed it by 1 pound, but in the big picture though, I mean, your goal initially was just to get the 350.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're still doing phenomenal. And you're still, and you know, as you guys are listening and what you're hearing here, it's, you know, the first thing was like, I'm not gonna eat anything. But I mean, you can eat, you know, it's just being mindful. What are like ongoing, like as you're just, you know, thinking about how, when you think about your day, and you think about food, and you think about this and that, I mean, how much like regimented is it now as you're moving towards your 230s goal? And I mean, you can still have a life if you still enjoy having different kinds of food.
Right.
So how much how regimented is it now?
So to me, it doesn't seem regimented at all.
Okay.
It's just, I've been doing it for so long now that it's a lifestyle now. It's a change in lifestyle. So instead of going over to HEB and going to get a kolache or going to get some kind of pastry, I'll go to HEB, go grab a salad, go grab some shredded chicken, because that's what I crave. I don't crave all that, you know, crazy heavy food like fast food. I think I had fast food for the first time in like a year last week. And I don't count Subway as fast food because I had to eat Subway a lot. I was in barbering school because it was right there. But you know, like McDonald's, I had gone to McDonald's in so long. I went in and I think I got so I had a choice to get a burger. First of all, it's McDonald's.
Right. Hello.
And you know, I was looking at their menu, and of course they're trying to be bougie now, like step up their game.
Craft your own burger and stuff. Yeah.
And so I was like, man, kind of want a burger right now.
Right.
Just staring at the picture, and then I look down and I see some like chicken tenders. I'm like, oh, the word chicken. Boom.
Nice.
I'm gonna take the chicken tenders, and like I ordered that with a Diet Coke.
Okay.
And so I got that, but even now, even going through fast food, I don't choose beef over chicken.
Yeah.
And that's weird for me because I can tear a steak up.
Yeah.
Any day of the week.
Gotcha. So it becomes really a lifestyle change.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what happens. And so if you're in those, you know, in those lows, not quitting, reaching out for help.
Yeah.
You know, and when you think about the money, the trade-off, you know, I know kind of initially you were like, oh, you know, I don't want to part with the money, but I remember a mentor of mine saying, you know, a lot of people that have like the money first mindset, they spend their whole life accumulating wealth, and then the first half, and then the second half of their life, they spend all their wealth trying to get back their health.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what would you trade? I mean, money for health, it's not even a question.
Yeah.
Having your health.
Yeah.
How have you seen, right, your overall now being, you know, what's the total loss right now?
So when I weighed in, it was at 196 pounds.
Jesus.
I mean, since then I've gained, a couple pounds back of water weight because I
Sure.
used fast before. So,
Sure.
uh,
So 196 pounds, like what other changes have you seen just in your daily lifestyle? And
Oh man, I don't remember exactly what weight I was at, but I was able to bend over and tie my shoe without having to like throw my knee out to the side and go in between my legs. I was able to just go over both knees
Yeah.
and tie my shoe, and I was like, I had like the biggest aha moment. Like, holy crap, I can tie my shoes like a
Yeah.
normal person now.
Wow.
And it was something super small. Someone's
Right.
like, oh, that's stupid. Yeah, that was big for me. I couldn't.
Sure.
I had to like spread my legs, throw my foot up on the bed, then tie my shoes.
Wow.
It was bad. Now I can just bend over, tie my shoe.
Nice. Nice. That's awesome. So there's little things along the way that are. I mean, a lot of people, they might think that's something small, but when you've been living a certain way for so long, you can do that. It's pretty huge. Awesome. So, I mean, it's incredible. I mean, just learning about that and kind of being able to witness. I mean, I didn't get to witness the whole thing. When I met you, you were already on your journey, well on your journey, but it's pretty inspiring. I know a lot of people take a lot away from it. I want to kind of shift gears a little bit now. So, you went to beauty school, cosmetology. Paul Mitchell, you kind of grew up in the Paul Mitchell family. You become a cosmetologist, and then you're also a barber. You went to school at another school. That was a journey in itself. We don't want to, totally put them on blast, but you need to step your game up, or we'll do it for you. So your family's in the hair business. How many people in your family are in the business?
So in the physical school right now, working from the family, I have my mom, owner, director, learning leader, everyone else's mom in the school. So she's there, head honcho. My grandfather runs the books, her dad. Her youngest brother runs tech and any kind of support operations in there. His wife is in our financial aid office. My aunt is a skin education leader, great at it, great admissions too.
Nice.
She needs to fill in. My cousin, who's on maternity leave right now, is our color specialist. So she's there as well.
Wow.
So there's a total, and then of course my grandmother, who kind of floats in every now and then.
Okay.
She's like the one that comes in, kind of moves stuff around, make it look good.
Yeah.
She's there, and she's a big part of it too. So 7 total, and
Wow.
in my actual family, so 7 of us in the school. My father's also a cosmetologist. My oldest brother was once upon a time licensed, let it lapse.
Okay.
But we've all done it.
Wow.
That's all we've done.
Very cool. Very cool. So a family of hair. And so now as we kind of fast forward, I mean, as you're listening to this story, so you're, football, music, hair, going through a life transformation, and you're how old now?
21.
So all the ripe old age of 21 years old. And now, we're starting a journey now. We just became business partners, friends, building, another extension of the 1.0 salon. A lot of you guys have been listening, know, like Austin, we're a month in. You're leading this salon, helping build this team up. And at 21 years old, what's coming, right? What's coming? What's next? What are some of the things that you're working on? Outside of your getting into the 230s, that's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
What are some of the other things that you're excited about working on, doing in the hair? And then I want to talk about your other career, which is still going on.
Yeah. So in hair, one of my big goals is to, I don't strive to be the next, Robert Cromings or be crazy big, because, as cool as that is, and I love Robert to death. I mean, I think his work is amazing, but, I just want to educate. That's a big thing I did fall in love with in school is educating people. I mean, from college dermatology school, I took a huge interest in men's cutting. So while I was in school, I was just learning how to do every kind of fade you can think of and knock it all out. So I really loved educating because students would come ask me, for help on a fade, or ask a learning leader if they were too busy, they'd come ask me, and I'd be able to help them out a little bit in what I knew. But being able to pass on the education I received from my amazing learning leaders to other people was, where I loved it. I thought that was the coolest thing, to help someone better themselves was just,
Nice.
it was an awesome feeling. So now, getting into the salons and, starting this journey with you, eventually, of course, I want to be able to train. I want to be able to get people doing cut. I want to get people, eventually, I want to have a barber school.
Nice.
I want to change the game in that because my experience was there. It was
Right.
it was a journey in its own, like you said, and I met some amazing people that should be getting a better quality education than they are. And
Awesome.
so I've noticed a big shift in that, and I want to change that game. Why can't we have amazing barber schools like we do cosmetology schools?
Right. Very cool. So getting into educating, helping lead the salons. I mean, and if you guys, and we're gonna make sure we, share where you can check out him in action here in a minute. So getting into that, and then also on the other side of the aisle, you're still crushing the music game,
Yeah.
right? That's still happening.
Yep.
I get the pleasure while I'm in town, staying at the house, and I heard this morning I heard the guitar going on a little bit. So tell us what's going on with the band, so these guys, it's a new band you guys are
Right.
formed up now. How long have you guys been together?
So the actual music has been done for about 2 years.
Okay.
So
Okay.
2 years of changing members and moving things around, and now we're pretty set in stone with the people we have. So Israel Rodriguez, call him Izzy. He's my vocalist. He's a good friend of mine.
Nice.
He's basically a brother
Nice.
in a sense. And then a good friend Andy. He's my
Nice.
other guitarist, and he joined in. I've known him for a little bit. He's great, both great people. And what's cool is we all understand that to focus on what we're doing, we have to have something behind us to fund it because
Right.
it's expensive.
Right.
Marketing in its own is expensive. And,
Right.
doing all this stuff, and Izzy is a business owner. I'm a business owner. Andy's working to become a business owner, and so we understand each other very well, and that our time is valuable, and that
Right.
when we do something, it's got to be done perfect. It's got to be done right, and that way we don't stress out like we used to in smaller projects and
Right.
stuff like that. But a lot of stuff's coming. I mean, we do new music coming out soon, hopefully,
Nice.
and then
And you got, so what's the name of the band is?
Lights Like Autumn.
Lights Like Autumn. And so projects wise, let's talk about those. You just released.
We just released our debut single. That one's been done for a while. We're just finally
Yeah.
ready to get it out there, and we did it the right way, and it's out now on all major music outlets pretty much. It's called Roulette.
Roulette.
Yeah.
And then if somebody wants to find it real quick, where would they be the best place to go to find it?
I definitely suggest, you can check us out on Facebook or Instagram. The best place to get it, so you can just listen to it all the time, is Spotify.
Spotify. Nice.
Add it to your playlist and throw it in your mix.
Bam. Got it. And so you guys are also business. I mean, you're busy.
Yeah.
I know when we're here, we're pushing, 13, 14, 15 hours, just run, go. How are you, and you guys are all doing that. So what's the rhythm of getting together, working on projects? How are you guys able to do that?
We schedule in advance.
Okay.
Hardcore, maybe a month to 2 months sometimes, to make sure we're set and ready to go. I know when we went to go and record this last song we did, we had it set for maybe a month.
Nice.
And the date was there. We made sure everyone's schedules were good. If someone's schedule conflicted, we moved it. It was easy as that. We know it's going to take time to make a perfect product, and I'm not going to sacrifice rushing something for it to not be perfect and not be worth our while. So,
Right.
and the guys all understand that. We just shot a music video. It didn't go as planned. We, in a sense, we didn't rush it, but there were some complications, and we were going back and forth in the band chat about if we should keep it, we should use it, all this stuff. And in the end of the day, we all understood okay, let's find the next day that's going to work for us. We're going to reschedule the shoot, redo the shoot, because we're going to put out the best quality we can.
Got it. That's it. And you guys as business, owners, and the mindset's probably different. I mean, even if you think back to when you were jamming a couple of years ago, you guys in the mindset, I think that plays a lot into it where you're at right now. Awesome song, by the way. I've listened to it not only with you, I've listened to it when I wasn't with you. So you guys definitely want to check that out. Lights Like Autumn.
Yeah.
And Roulette.
Yeah.
Debut single. On Spotify. Very cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the journey unfolds and being, able to watch it. I got a front row seat, to see it from the music side, the hair side, getting to work with you, getting to know you has been awesome. And I mean, I know people that are listening are going to be inspired by what you're doing and knowing like, hey, I could do it. I could do it too. And that's a big thing, for people to know, like every one of us has a story, whether you're 21 or 81. Everyone's got ups, everyone's got downs. So thanks for really just sharing some of those ups and downs. Now, people want to check you out. Where do you hang out? What social medias where you're most active at? Where can they find you?
The most active social medias are going to be Instagram and Facebook. Instagram first, because that's kind of where everyone lives now.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Facebook as well.
Cool.
My handle is just my name. Nothing special about it. Just my name, because that's what I want people to see is me. I mean, I don't need to have some bougie name. Just Joshua A. Valdez and
Joshua A. Valdez.
Yep.
On Instagram at Joshua A. Valdez. Very cool. And on Facebook, same thing?
It'd be my full name.
Very cool. Very cool. And so with that, you guys, hopefully you got to not only get inspired, I know I did listening, but also understand like it's hard work. I mean, it's not you just one day decide to do it. If you go back all the way to the beginning when you had the thought to where you are now, working, in the hair industry from where you started to where you are now. Hopefully you guys that are watching and are listening understand, like, you got to put in the work. And I'm sure you're just getting going. So we can't wait. I can't wait to have you back on in a year from now and kind of talk about where things are at with the music, with the business, with what you're doing as an artist and hair and music and all that, and kind of see where things go. So I just want to thank you for being on the podcast, for talking to us and sharing, giving us a little look inside of the man, the myth, the legend, known as Joshua Valdez. And thank you guys for listening to another episode of YFYI, the podcast. And thanks for sharing this. I know you will. Please do think about somebody that might be able to use this. Maybe they need to hear the whole thing. Maybe they need to hear a snippet. Maybe they need to, just hear something that's going to kind of shift them and maybe wake them up. Make sure you check out Josh on the socials. Check out the music. And make sure, if you haven't, do us a solid. Leave a review for this episode. I know this is going to get a ton of airplay. Leave us a review. You're getting some free swag out of it. Not only are you getting inspired, but you can get an iHeart YFYI limited edition t-shirt. And stay tuned for the next episode of the YFYI podcast. And I can't wait to talk to you guys, or to see you if you're watching on the tube in the near future. So thanks for listening, guys. And remember, this is the place where you come to learn how to build your business and your life right once, or else you will be doomed to have to build it again. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you soon. Bam! All right, man.